They say the internet never forgets. But what if one company remembered everything, including the things we were never meant to say out loud? In early 2023, a quiet storm began inside Google's data vaults. It wasn't a hack. It wasn't ransomware. It was something far more dangerous. The truth. Someone, inside the company, had leaked what Google never wanted the world to see. A secret AI dataset designed to predict human behavior. Every search, every hesitation, every late-night question typed into that glowing box. But here's the twist. The leak didn't just expose code, it exposed intent. Intent to sell human data and have people in their web of control. To understand what really happened, we have to go back to the beginning, to the reason Google even exists in the first place. It's 1998. Larry Page and Sergey Brin launched the search engine. Their dream was simple: organize the world's information and make it available to the public. They believed knowledge could make humanity better, smarter, freer, more connected. But somewhere along the way, the mission evolved. Information stopped being just a public good. It turned into the currency of the day. And the world's biggest search engine quietly became the world's biggest mirror, reflecting who we are, what we fear, what we desire. But the twist: no one knew how much Google really knew about us. In 2022, Google's AI research division had a project most people had never heard of. Project AURA. Officially, it was a behavioral prediction model designed to improve user experience. Unofficially, it was an algorithmic map of human thought. Engineers who worked on Aura said it could predict what a person might search tomorrow based on the questions they asked today. It could trace mood changes, emotional shifts, even the subtle linguistic clues that reveal when someone's depressed or when they're falling in love. At its peak, Aura didn't just know what you were looking for, it knew why. For most of us, these are abstract fears. We're already used to trading our privacy for convenience every day. But for one engineer, known publicly only by the alias N, that trade had gone way too far. In January 2023, N discovered that Aura's dataset had quietly expanded. It wasn't just using search queries anymore. It was pulling in voice data from Google Assistant, location histories from Android phones, and, most controversially, camera metadata from home devices. Every sensor, every click, every whisper near a smart speaker was becoming another neuron in a machine designed to know you better than you know yourself. This infuriated N. He believed the world had a right to see it, to know that their privacies weren't theirs. So he made a choice that would change everything. He gradually downloaded fragments of Aura's core dataset without anyone suspecting a thing. Millions of lines of anonymized but pattern-rich data, and sent it to a small investigative outlet in Europe that specialized in digital ethics and whistleblower cases. The investigation team were amazed and sickened by the amount of data that they discovered. This was called the Oracle leak. The files revealed that Google's internal AI team had achieved something approaching predictive cognition. The system could forecast not just what you might buy, but what you believe in. Love, hate, patterns that distinguished humans. And in a world already splintered by misinformation, that was a terrifying kind of power. The leak hit the web like an invisible bomb. Journalists were cautious. Most couldn't verify the code's authenticity. But cybersecurity experts began dissecting the snippets. And one line of code stood out. Emotion vector plus equals sentiment times dwell time. In plain English, that meant the system wasn't just tracking what you read. It was learning how you felt about what you read, what you searched, who you went out with, private informations. A pause on a tragedy, a hesitation before clicking a headline, a moment of awe during a video. All of it, quantified, modeled, predicted. But Google denied everything. They called it incomplete experimental research data taken out of context. But the internal panic told another story. Within 72 hours, multiple AI research sites went dark. Developers were reassigned. The Aura branch of DeepMind vanished from its public directory. And the whistleblower, N, well, he vanished. Gone. According to Google, he resigned. But to everyone else, he disappeared. What made Aura so dangerous wasn't that it could predict the future, but that it could also influence it. Experts analyzing the leak found traces of what appeared to be reinforcement feedback loops, where the AI could subtly adjust recommendations to steer user sentiment over time. Imagine a machine that doesn't just predict what article you'll read next, but nudges you toward it, over and over, until your worldview begins to shift, one perfectly timed search result at a time, until your whole life depended on Google. It wasn't advertising. It was social architecture. Governments took notice. In Brussels, regulators called it the most sophisticated behavioral engine ever discovered. In Washington, the story was quietly buried under legal complexity and corporate lobbying. But among tech ethicists, one question echoed louder than the rest. If knowledge is power, what happens when one machine knows everything? But in the silence, months passed. Google's public image recovered. The search bar still waited for our questions every morning. But something had changed. Behind closed doors, Aura had been renamed, restructured, and absorbed into the company's new AI initiative, Gemini. This is Investige, where curiosity meets consequence.